I'm Isis Romero, and this is the news in San Antonio. Threats of a gun on campus sends IDEA Judson into full lockdown. The threat was called in just before 8 Thursday morning, and school officials decided to close down early. Earl Stoudemire has a reaction from parents.
Parents are worried all morning here at IDEA Judson, getting word of a gun on campus. Once SAPD showed up, officers found no weapon and no one harmed.
I'm ready to jump the fence and go in there myself. 100%.
Anxiety and tension is up and down the sidewalk at IDEA Judson.
I'm scared, we're nervous, everyone's arguing. There's two different sides. There's people that are telling us to stay calm, but they don't know what it's like to have a kid inside of there.
San Antonio police say they got a call from IDEA Judson at 7:55 a.m. after a student reported to school staff they overheard a student saying they had a gun. Officers showed up in a few minutes and the school went into lockdown.
We were able to secure the classrooms in different areas of the building. We then took the staff and the students, we moved them to a primary location to ensure everyone was accounted for. Once we did that, we were able to lift the lockdown on the building.
Officers cleared the school and said there is no evidence of a threat. Police, however, did detain one person for questioning. This emergency led to IDEA Judson closing early for the day and parents still looking for answers.
After I dropped off my son, they sent a message that the lockdown had already started. So they let us bring in our kids knowing of the whole situation that was happening.
At this moment, no one has been charged in this situation. At IDEA Judson, Earl Stoudemire, KENS 5.
Concerns about ramped up ICE activity nationwide has sparked local advocates to call for a protest. That protest is scheduled in downtown San Antonio on Friday. This comes after hundreds of protesters demanded the release of migrants outside an ICE detention center in Dilley. At one point, law enforcement clashed with demonstrators, leading to arrests. Reporter Zach Briggs has more.
Some of the people who spoke today were in Dilley yesterday for the protest outside the migrant detention center. That's where DPS troopers eventually deployed pepper balls into the crowd. We also heard from a San Antonio business owner who plans to shut down shop tomorrow so she can take part in an anti-ICE demonstration here at Travis Park.
ICE out!
Shut it down! While there are people that are afraid, we are still resolved to fight back.
Jessica Solis was among the hundreds of Texans in Dilley protesting ICE and what she called horrific conditions at the migrant detention center. That's where Congressman Joaquin Castro was able to meet with 5-year-old Liam Ramos and his father, who've been in ICE custody for more than a week after being taken in Minnesota.
That peaceful protest was met with tear gas and arrests.
Shame.
All across our country, we are seeing peaceful protesters. We are seeing people that are just trying to do the right thing and protect their neighbors being met with violence.
Falling in line with demands from activists in Minneapolis, local groups are mobilizing a protest downtown in opposition to ICE.
We call on all workers, students, business owners, faith leaders, and the people of San Antonio to shut it down tomorrow, to say ICE out of our city.
San Antonio, our neighbors need your help.
Elizabeth Eichhorn runs a wine shop in town and plans on closing up tomorrow to march alongside other business owners and community members, speaking up against this country's immigration system.
I looked back at to why I began Copper Rose. I did it for my neighborhood. When I hired our first employee, it became a business value to ensure safety for my staff and all of my employees.
And this demonstration set to begin tomorrow at 2 p.m. It's one of many across the nation. I'm Zach Briggs, KENS 5.
Police are looking for a man connected to a deadly shooting back in June. Investigators say the shooting took place on North Alamo Street, and now they're hoping someone recognizes the suspect. Rania Kaur has the latest.
Police say this all stems from an argument that turned deadly. Now, months later, police are looking for the man they believed pulled the trigger.
On your screen now is 25-year-old Walter Witten. Police say he's involved in a shooting that killed a 32-year-old man. It happened early morning on June 21st on North Alamo near Bentley's Beer Garden. Witnesses told police they saw the victim and the shooter walking when they started arguing. The witnesses also claimed they saw the shooter pull out the gun, firing shots. Once he's caught, Witten will be facing charges of murder and aggravated assault.
If anyone knows where Whitten is, you are asked to contact the San Antonio Police Department's homicide unit. That number on your screen now, 210-207-7635. Rania Kaur, KENS 5.
A Poteet man who lost everything in a fire is getting help from a new state law and a loving community. The new Texas property tax law gives people who are hurting a break. Sue Kalberg has more from Poteet.
Historically, when Texas tax rolls were certified, that was it. You paid what you owed. But as of January 1st, the rule has changed, and you can now catch a break if you suffer a terrible loss.
The loss came quickly. In the bitter cold Sunday night, a fireplace that hadn't been used in a while caught the whole house on fire, leaving it a total loss. Charles Hale was left with house slippers and a borrowed jacket. Nancy Hale, who retired from Southwest ISD, says former coworkers, friends, and family are helping Charles rebuild his life.
Wow. You think he likes pink?
Oh, sure. He doesn't. He's not picky or choosy about that.
With a bright pink toothbrush and so much more.
And I was just very impressed with that there's so many people that are willing to help.
She says the love isn't surprising in Atascosa County.
It's worthwhile to live in a smaller community and a smaller, more country-like environment out here. People care about each other still out here. You don't always see that in the big cities.
The biggest surprise, though, is a big tax break. A Texas property tax law changed January 1st. It allows property owners to file for an exemption when their residence homestead is destroyed by fire.
I believe we just have to turn in information from the fire chief out here, and that should take care of that.
At KENS5.com, we have more information about the forms that need to be filled out for anyone who suffers a significant loss like this. In Atascosa County, Sue Kalberg, KENS 5.
And that's the news in San Antonio.